Okay, folks, we're going to try to get right to the point so you can understand. I want to put things into order for you. What's going on is all of us are watching this hostage swap for prisoners take place. Let me give you the news, it's been delayed by one day. We should see the hostages being released sometime on Monday. The papers have not been signed yet, and that's the delay. But the news is both sides have completely agreed that they're complete and ready to be signed. Now they have to organize and bring together the right people for the signing, and when that's signed, that starts it. That's probably going to be Sunday or Monday. More than likely Monday it's going to take place. I'm not going to read anything into that. Trump having something to do with it. Again, that's where people get carried away, and I don't want to do that here. Hang on. Excuse me. I don't want to do that here right now at this time. I want to keep this real simple. You've got the idea that this is going to take place, 99% accuracy, it's going to happen. So, what all does that really mean? Folks, I'm going to ask the rhetorical question here. Are we forgetting that we know what's going to happen? So we really don't have to think about all of this that's going to happen in the future. But let's go back to Scripture, and that's what I want to do now. I want to focus you in, and I'm going to say this for a reason, folks, because I would like you to take the next tomorrow and let's see, Saturday, turn the TVs off, turn your computers off, turn your phones down low, and just relax and take it easy because you know what's going to happen. Or are we believing it? All right, let's get into it, okay? I want to do that because it just seems that so many people are talking about how awful this is, and it is. It's not a good deal for Israel at all. But we know the outcome. All right, let's just go ahead and do this then. Let me come over here. I'm going to start from the very beginning. I'm going to paraphrase and jump around here a little bit, but you know this. Matthew 24. The disciples asked him, talking to him privately, it says right here, tell us when shall these things be? What shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? Now I see that as two different things. Coming, one in the clouds, and the second one, the end of the world. Now we all know that at the end of the tribulation, Jesus is going to return to this earth to reign for 1,000 years. So if that's the case, all we have to know is when the start of the 7 years is. Well, that's not going to be, when that starts, that's the covenant being enforced. And so when that happens, 7 years later, Jesus will return. So that's one of them. But we want to know, and here's what we're going to focus on today, the sign of his coming. But also I want you to read this, if you would, real quickly here. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation, Matthew 24, again, Jesus talking to the disciples. He goes on to explain. He's answering them. Spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Okay, here it is right here. The holy place, abomination, destroy temple, mid-tribulation. But what he did, Matthew here, is reporting that Jesus took us now, where? To Daniel, all right? Let's jump into Daniel real quick. That's where he took us. I'm going to go right to 27. We already know the 70 weeks of 7. 69 of those weeks have happened, or 483 years, leaving the last 7 years to still happen and of yet. And that's what Jesus now has led us to, that abomination. And he shall confirm a covenant with many for 1 week. That's when the 7 weeks starts. And in the midst of that week, right in the center of it, he shall cause the sacrifice of oblation to cease, and the overspreading of abominations shall make it desolate. Okay, that's the middle of it. So Jesus wants us to know the timing. He says he's going to give us a sign. So what's our sign? Well, the signs are there. We go here into Asaph. Okay, here we are. Keep not silent, O God, when all these things happen. Make a tumult, crafty a counsel against the people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. Who are the hidden ones? Now, I don't have any doubt in my mind, thank you, Terry Geiser, that these are the hostages, because that's the whole world is focusing on this one time right now. The hostages are going to be released. Now, I'll say something else too here. We know that 1 Thessalonians 5:3, Paul says, they will be saying peace and safety. Now, let's confront this. People are they're trying to figure out who the they are that'll be saying the peace and safety. And many are saying, well, why couldn't it be the enemies? Why couldn't it be the Palestinians that'll be saying peace and safety? Okay, I'll buy that. Remember, it's not exactly who says it. Anyone can say it. Trump has been saying it. Biden's been saying it. Other councilmen have been saying it. We're hearing it. So we're hearing the idea now with this so-called prisoner swap ceasefire hostage release happening, that would they then be saying peace and safety? Well, you asked for a sign. I did. Disciples did. What's our sign? Well, Jesus went on to say, and he explained. And he gave us all the conditions. All the conditions are here. And then Paul said when they say peace and safety, then the sudden destruction. What does Asaph say? Asaph says, he makes it very clear to us that he's seeing what's happening. Here it is. It's all happening. Here's the hidden ones, the hostages. Are you still looking for a sign? They have said, come and let us cut us off from being a nation. The name of Israel be no more in remembrance. When has that ever happened before? Is that going to happen again? I mean, everyone's looking to the future, but we're told by Jesus, he said he would give us the sign. Paul tells us about the rapture when they say peace and safety. Then the sudden destruction. That's here, right here. We're looking at it. These right here that you're reading are not as much the enemies. They are because of where they are. But this is the territory that's surrounding Israel. That's why you know it's a circle around Israel. And these enemies are preventing Israel from getting to that last 7 years to where a covenant can be made. Actually, what's going to happen with the sudden destruction is going to be a reason. Okay. Satan and his angels, a war in heaven, Revelation 12. He is restrained for 3.5 years. That's why he gave his power and authority to the first beast in Revelation. And that is so that he will be able to fulfill this prophecy of him confirming it. He's the one that's going to enforce it, the new covenant. Some people say, well, Ross, can that have anything to do with the Abraham Accords? I don't see it myself. No. The Abraham Accords are more about Israel being able to get along with other countries. And this is more about God's prophetic sayings here, showing us the sign, the hidden ones, when they say peace and safety, whoever they might be. I'm not too sure how important that is at this particular time. All right, so let's go on then. We know that these are the surrounding, those that surround. Yeah, let's go on here. And do unto them, we understand Judges 6 and 7, the war of the Lord and Gideon. God won the war for them. Hands down, everyone knows it. It was seen by all. Here's the sudden destruction, what he's going to be doing. You come down here. Let them be, well, I don't have that in view, and I do that quite often. I'm trying to remember, folks. Let's do this right here. Okay. You can see that. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Let them be shamed and confounded and troubled forever. Ye let them be put to shame and perish. Confounded forever. It's the end of it. This is going to be that start of that last 7 years, folks. The enemies of Israel, no more coming around them anywhere. And it says, go on down here a little bit further. That men may know that thou, whose name alone is Jehovah, art the most high over all the earth. All the earth will know. It says, men will know. Judges 6 and 7. Everyone knew that it was a Jews' God that won the war for them. Folks, you're looking for a sign. God gave it to us. Matthew 24, Matthew 24:15, Daniel Daniel 9:24 through 27. Paul talks about the rapture, the peace and safety, then a sudden destruction. Asaph, Psalm 83, talks about the sudden destruction. Folks, honestly, we should really be, in a way, mournful for all the things that are happening, but this is God's plan. So you see, I asked you the question, I said, are we forgetting here that we know the end? We know what's going to happen. So all this talk about the hostages and how they're going to be released, and I even made a video a while back and said it's possible God releases the hostages. If they say peace and safety, again, who's that? Well, I'll leave that open. But are we at that time? That sign that we were looking for, was it not given to us? And then was it not further explained? Wisdom, knowledge, understanding given to us. For those that believe Jesus is their Savior, and Jews included, that they would know and understand. And we do. As far as I'm concerned, we're there. That's why I said, let this unfold for the next couple of days. We'll come back to this again on Sunday. If something else weird happens between now and then, I'll make another video. But let's just go ahead and keep in mind, we know the end. I have here in my notes, I'm reading it. Hostages for prisoners swap is a sign. Okay, so we went over that. The only way this is going to make any sense is when it happens. If you're still trying to figure out how this whole thing is going to work, when it happens, we will understand it. But we have been led to know what's going to happen down the road. And I believe we're there. Folks, until Sunday, I hope this was helpful to you. Use that, what I've given you, to ponder, to think about, to read, and pray and ask for it. But I am going to keep a steady eye here. And by the way, if I can just give a quick little thanks to Jeremy. He's the one that's helping me monitor the site here. He's doing an above average job as far as I'm concerned. So Jeremy, thank you for doing that. So anyway, Sunday, you guys wait until then. If something else happens, I'll pop back in.